I think only Vijay introduction is missed. Vijay, can you hear me? Vijay? Vijay, please unmute yourself. Yeah. Tell me, what exactly you're looking for now, and what is your background experience in, software or any tools like in short time? Already it is late. Please. Hello, Vijay, can you hear me? Hello, Vijay. Are you there?
Sir, my name is Vijay Kumar.
Yeah.
I'm from district, Rajur, sir. My basic degree class is 12 to 16 years, sir.
Okay.
Also, I'm preparing for the group exam.
Okay.
2017 to 2021, 22. But some reasons, I come from the software side.
Okay.
That's why it was an attack.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. So, okay, we let us commence the session. So, as I understand, actually, I think two people are completely new to this software and this terminology, and even interview experience and all. Someone is looking for, and how to handle it and what to do, how exactly things are happening in software and all. It is means from the scratch level. Few people are looking for. I mean, in this in this list. So I begin and I start from the scratch level itself. All the basic terms I will explain in the beginning in the ETL tool, and even like software or tool like differences and all I will explain. And after that, from tomorrow class onwards, we will give you exact curriculum and stipulated time against each content and subtopics. And it will be easy finally. So you will understand, and if you have any doubts, you can ask at any time. And as Mr. Ashok said, like we have some consultancy linked with, so you people can try while course is going on. If you have real experience and all, I mean, at least, I mean, if you have real confidence and all, so you can try that. So let us begin the session now. So coming to ETL session and ETL testing tool, fundamental words, few things we need to understand. So they are like, mostly here our fundamental source is like data. So on the data, generally we work. Even whatever the tools like, mostly our source is like, on what we generally work, data only. So data may be generally available in different formats. You can see from, a small store, if you take in any village or in any, city or whatever it is, like, they collect some data. It means, what are the items or products they purchase and how much does it cost, maybe daily basis, and how many products they sold in a day, and what is the profit, or if any loss is there, what is the loss, and each how many items actually they delivered on that particular day. Like, we need a particular data. Generally, we used to maintain this type of records in the past on the books. Generally, we know that, like Kata books we call, like. So on the Kata books, generally we used to write everything. Generally, for order book is one, and income book is one, and they have to verify on each day. I mean, that particular merchant used to verify on every day, like daily basis. On that day, what are the final analytics like? It means he used to do analysis at the end of the day, and he used to confirm whether the loss occurred or gain occurred, or what are the products are more actually that they have, they sold. And based on that, he will come to some conclusions like, what type of item actually we need to buy more in this, particular month. That actually it varies sometimes, like let us say, like some days comes, like particular month comes. In that particular month, like winter season, like seasonal items may be there in big industries, big merchants, like, so seasonally they order more, like. So this type of analysis all generally a person used to do. in a simple store or shop. But now, as the industry is growing, as the merchant industry is growing every day, so that type of writing on the books or scribble pads is not enough. It is not at all enough. So we need some tools and softwares and some data storage devices. All this type of technology we need to handle this big data. Generally, to handle this big data. So coming to data again. So generally data, maybe you can classify many ways, like, there are many classifications are there, like, simple data and complex data. Maybe few people, one type of classification it is like. Generally, another way of classification is homogeneous data, heterogeneous data. I told you every word we generally, use here in this session, you should understand. There is, I know, as few people are new to this thing, technology and all, you have to by listening the word itself, you have to understand at least meaning of that. So homogeneous means like, similar data. It means one particular file to another particular file, there is much adaptability. It means similarity is there. When you call something like heterogeneous, it means the data are different from different sources. Let us say here 4 people are there. Let us say 4 people are giving some food to me. One is completely different from another based on continental food, like something that is called heterogeneous food. Like maybe my stomach cannot able to adapt to that type of food, but if you give me homogeneous food, like it means only Indian culture food, you 4 people are giving me Indian culture food, I can take that, I can adapt because my stomach can adapt to that type of food. So here adaptability is very important. That's why we use, we have to transform it sometimes, like that term will come in this ETL tool. So you need to change otherwise, because that system cannot understand, that cannot digest or cannot adapt to that type of data. So generally here another classification I said, homogeneous and heterogeneous data like. So these are the data generally classifications are there. Again, based on quantity or level of data, less data, more big data, we generally call some technology there, like big data technology nowadays. Based on data science it will work. So there are many classifications, I don't want to go in deep in that. So another next thing is like, in coming to ETL, so we generally, few people say like tool and software, there are two things like difference. This difference you should understand, tool and software. See, very simple. Tool is something like already they developed. Tool is something, a box, which is a closed box. You can say black box. So that is already developed by a developer. So what you have to do in this, if you want to use the tool, you should know the sequence and you should know how to get the output. That is only as simple as that. In tool type software or in tool types, generally everything is designed. You need to understand the sequence. So sequence is another term. Generally, you can use in SQL or something like in anywhere, like sequence is very important. It means you should know from start to end what exactly the path you have to follow to do a particular task. So coming to task, I want to say another thing is like we generally use job is a word for every task in ETL. So if you do any particular task, you can say that job is done. So job. So what now? Sequence. So let me, to execute this toolbox or a black box or something like there in the system. Inside something is there which is already coded, which is already designed or developed by a developer. You should understand the sequence. The sequence is, first you have to give one input like something here, and next you have to give another input here, and then only you have to run the box, or you have to compile the box to find the errors, or to run the box in order to run the system. Then you will get output. So without giving inputs, for example, if you do not follow the sequence exactly, then automatically you will not get output. So as simple as that, the tool is like. So tool is, you need to understand that. That means you have to know the sequence of steps to operate a particular code or particular system that is already developed. It is nothing but a tool. So now software, you know that you have to write the code. it means I told you here like something like black box. It means which is we don't know what exactly there inside it. So you, in order to understand the software, you should understand the logic, you should understand the code behind it is running, and you have to write that code. Then only you can you can do the same task or job by using a software. This is a fundamental difference or a very rudimental concept between tool and software. So after that, it will come like BI, big data, that later on we will explain. So coming to here ETL, especially coming to ETL, data is the fundamental word I already explained. There are some other basic terms you need to understand. So firstly, ETL, I just give you an each term what it is like, but here I don't immediately I don't explain the word and all definitions. I'm not giving. E nothing but extract. Just remember E. So actually, I need to upgrade it seems. So let us continue our 10 minutes. And if break comes, I start again. Okay. Because for upgradation, maybe it takes time. So E for extract, extract. Later on we will see. T for transform. Extract means collection, like collecting. T means transform. It means you have to filter it, you have to change it, you have to do some operations on it. L means load. You have to load into a particular system. Just as simple as that. The three terms you need to understand first. So in that ETL, the fundamental words, data, I already explained. I hope there is no doubts in this. Any doubt in this particular data term? I think no. Thank you. Then next thing is like entity. So same example again we will take. A small store. A small store, generally they have different products and product number or product code, like. So if you take a product as a table, so that table can be called as an entity in that particular business. So entity means a table that is majorly like name here, like we mentioned product. It means based that product details will be there in that entity. So entity is a larger term, like. So next term is field or column. So I said already table I mentioned as an entity. It means if you take a table, then it will have rows and columns of data, right? So a particular rows and columns of data. So each column can be called as an attribute. A field, generally sometimes we mention. Actually, there are more similar words that they use. Maybe that triggers little confusion, but that's why you need to understand all the basic terms exactly what it is like. So field, column, attributes, whatever the terms they say, each column representation. It means here let us say PN product number, like product name, P name. Like if you mention, each column can be called as field or attribute in the entity. If its entity is the bigger one, under this product, I mean under that each column will come and attributes will come. So next, primary key, foreign key, there the keys like are there. So here primary key means, see, primary means fundamental, you know that. Let us say I take product as a primary key. It means under this product there are other keys are available. Let us say product number as an I can take maybe as a foreign key. It means there is a connection between foreign and primary and entity. It means in order to know, see, suddenly I want to know this foreign key value or foreign key parameters. I no need to go for entity, but I have to come from the entity only, because I told you it is a sequence you need to follow. Entity, attribute, and then primary key, and then foreign key, and then if any other keys are available inside of into deep, then one by one sequentially we will go inside of a particular data, again of a particular data only. So this is what generally some basic terms we use in ETL. Now we will come to this ETL, exactly what exactly the definitions and all. So for any,
sorry to interrupt, Ammaj.
sorry, tell me.
You are sharing screen.
I shared.
Okay. We don't see anything on dashboard there. That's why.
Others also.
Yeah, I thought you were
Yes, sir.
just
Yes, sir.
explaining. We didn't see anything you're writing or anything.
Oh, actually, I'm writing on the board. Actually, whiteboard I have taken, but that there is a little, gap is there between writing and putting ink on the screen.
It's just a blank page because
Yes, sir.
we didn't see
Blank
anything.
I think I will check once. I will check once. Why it is happening? Okay, now.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
we can see.
now we can.
Okay, I think okay, same. I think whatever the things I have explained here, I think I have written. That's already data, tool, software. Hope you understand. When I mentioned the system, I told you sequence like I1, I2 are the inputs you need to first given, and then you have to run the system or compile the box which is there inside the system. That is what actually here I have written. This box. So then only you will get an output. That is what actually sequence that we need to mention. I mentioned and that we need to follow in ETL tool. And I told you already tool versus software, and this black box, that's okay, different. ETL, I mentioned extract, transform, load. In that data is the fundamental, and then I told you entity, nothing but a table, nothing but entity, and then product as an entity I have taken. Under that product, I have taken a table of values, I mean rows and columns of values, product number and product name. These can be called as attributes, are columns, are fields, sometimes we mention. So whatever the word they use, that they are same. And I told you there are much similarity in between the words in software nowadays, because every day it is changing. Like even the tool, software, BI tools, big data, data science, big data technology. These are like there is much what you call confusion is there in the minds of people, because they are very thin lines. There are in between each and every word. So in order to understand exactly that thin line, you need to understand between the words. Like this is, I mean, so far I have written on the board. I think it is clear. Can I go to the next step, ETL? Can I?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So now come to ETL. I told you we work on data only from the beginning. So we have taken a small store to understand, a small shop or store to understand how the data generally comes like. So now we take little bigger example. Let us say there are 10 banks are there, located at different locations, different branches like. So 10 branches of that bank will have data individually on database like. So here another term comes like in order to understand this concept, that DBMS, database management system, and DWH, data warehouse. So these two differences will come while I am explaining ETL itself. Let me say there is a term, another term like ODS, operational data store. Operational data store. Simple as the word explains, like the data I'm storing in this box, which is ready to do some operations. It means on that data we do some operations. So who will give this data generally? That is data which is already there in DBMS. So who generally have this DBMS, database management system? Like the individual, the 10 branches in our example, we have taken 10 branches. Each branch has its own DBMS, database management system. It means that database means that in many tables of data they have about employees, about employees payroll, about customers, about customer accounts, their balances, and the daily transactions, all the data. Transactional data will be there in this DBMS. Which data? Transactional data will be there in this DBMS. So remember, transactional means it is volatile. It means it is changing data. In a day, the data is continuously will change. That's why here it is memory is less general. In data in a particular branch, the data as it is transactional because it is changing. Like I told you in the small store also, the day comes like how many products they bought, how many products they sold. It is ever changing like that. Suddenly one guy may go take the some item and he may return also. It means again he has to add it. So this DBMS will be there. DBMS means transactional, a collection of data which is transactional, which is volatile. It is means which is ever changing. It means it is daily changing. That's why we call it as a volatile.
Like a little aggregated or building information instantly, so that they have some let's assume let's take like an example, like after 4 hours of the time they want to refill the products. So at that time they want to know what are the products that were sold and what are the products that were present, and they need to refill in the next 1 hour. So at that time they need some analysis of the transactional data that had happened in last 4 hours, but this data is not available with the data warehousing system. So what they do is they prepare a ODS. This ODS is the operational data store which will be built on this transactional data. So that will be used for some specific business purpose, like the one which I said, where when the product refill is required instantly, so they can instantly get a report from this operational data store. So it is something of kind like on the transactional database, it will be something which is a little aggregated one or little summarized one, not completely as a data warehouse. But that will be used for an immediate business case. That's how it is ODS. And coming to the data mart, so we will be having multiple dimensions, like the time dimension, location dimension. But let's assume our business is more progressing through a product like pharmaceutical product, and there are more number of queries that are being hit on the pharmaceutical product side. So then we thought like every time they are going into data warehouse, so why don't we build something which the people are hitting very hardly, like every time. So what they do is they identify the specific dimensions or specific areas where the business will be hitting those areas for querying or other purposes. So they will build a data mart so that the work will be easier. They're coming to the data warehouse, it is like more of the enterprise thing only. Okay. And in the enterprise thing, they need to run the reports. It's the holistic view of the entire business, which contains the complete data of it. Okay. I hope you got the answer or difference between these, right?
Yeah. Is it more? It is more like a data warehouse storing transactional data. You're saying that, right?
Yeah. For specific business cases, see, they do.
Okay.
So for specific business cases, they need transactional data. Okay. So for that
Yeah.
purpose, they need ODS. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's it for today. So we will continue in the next class the remaining things, as maybe there is a chance for adding another maybe 1 or 2 students, like, so I mean 2 people, so that again actually we need to repeat everything, right? So that is like again it's like redundant, so that is useless again. So can we close now? Can we wrap up as of till this, or any doubts you have?
Yes, fine.
So if you have any doubts, just post in the group. Okay. And if you need any documentation as well, post in the group. And if you need any specific topics kind of thing, so any questions we have, just post in the group. So we'll be providing the guidance. Okay.
Thank you.
Will you provide topic by topic every day interview questions to prepare?
Yeah. In the class,
we will
generally
share
we cover, in the class also we cover some questions. And even if you have any doubts, particular questions like that, you can share in the group also. So Ashok will share that, that things. Okay.
Yeah, I'm asking about topic by topic every day. You are taking, you're
we
teaching
have
today
the content and we
something
will
like
share it. Yeah, we have the
Okay.
content. I will share in the WhatsApp group. So
Okay.
we will be sharing the details ahead of the session so that you can, when you can get prepared. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you then. I'm going to wrap up. Thank you all.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any sample environment to practice all these things, or how it will be in?
Yeah, we have a practice environment. So this will be loading the softwares into your machine, and you can test it parallelly with AMMAJI. So you can practice everything. We'll be setting up everything for you. Okay. Just hold for 2 to 3 classes. Meanwhile,
Okay.
we'll be setting up
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ajay.